Veve, I want my refund. That's what we're talking about today. So therefore, let's go over to the main screen so we can see what's happening in the world of NFTs and crypto today. Because this is kind of a crazy one. So I thought I'd do a quick video on this one for you. Basically, this guy here on Twitter, Paul from Top Dog Studios, Dark P0RT, Dark Paul, essentially on Twitter. So feel free to follow him. Basically, he went to do the Porsche NFT mint, or he went to look at it, and he noticed something very interesting, and that is that there's two boxes just here. I don't know if you can quite see them because my arm is in the way, but if I just do this, you can kind of see where I'm pointing to just here. And basically, those two boxes, in one of them, it says I have agreed to the terms and conditions, and then the next one, it basically says that I hereby agree to release my right to withdrawal. So that basically means that you tick that box if you want to mint, and therefore you will then not be allowed to get a refund. So this got him thinking, well, that's not on other NFTs that you buy, so there must be a reason that they've specifically put this in. And if you go into their terms of service, it actually says right to withdrawal. If you buy this product within the EU or something like that, you have 14 days to return the product for a full refund if you wish to. Now, the reason this is really interesting is because that is general seller regulations in the EU. For those who are from the EU, then you would probably know this anyway. If you buy anything, whether it be on eBay or whatever, even if the product says on the end non-refundable or non-returnable or do not accept returns, is what most people put, because obviously it's their own, their own thing or whatever. They might be selling something secondhand or whatever. If it's not an auction, if it's a buy now, then it actually means that you can return that product within 14 days anyway, and PayPal will just give you your money back, because at the end of the day, you've just changed your mind or whatever. It is a distance selling regulation. So what this guy's realised is that all these NFTs that didn't put this on are actually in essentially breach of the law, because in order for you to basically claim this, they have to put the right to withdraw on it or whatever, so you tick the box, because they have to allow the fact that once you bought it after 14 days. Now, if they do not put that after 14 days, which it says here, then it's actually the law and statutory right of consumers, and if the rules aren't followed, then the sellers could be made to pay compensation. Because I hear what you're thinking, well, 14 days, I bought an NFT, it was ages ago, or whatever, but the thing is that if this isn't in the terms and conditions that you have to agree to the right to withdraw, then it actually means that the NFT that you bought, they then have to give you a 2-year period of when you can give it back, because of the fact that it's not in their terms and conditions and it's not set out in the law. So it's really interesting, this, because basically what he said was, he said, well, in that case, I'm just going to try and contact Yuga Labs and see what happens. So he actually contacted Yuga Labs. He bought a other side piece for, I think it was like 10k or something like that, and it's now worth about 2.6. So he basically contacted Yuga Labs and told them he wants a refund, and they pretty much told him where to stick it. But he did contact them back, and then he said, well, I want you to put me in touch with your legal department, because you've got a legal obligation for this. And now it's kind of an ongoing thing on Twitter. So it's really interesting, because do Veve have this term in their clauses? Like, can we get refunds from Veve? Well, if you look at their website, then obviously not, because of the fact that you are buying an NFT at the end of the day, and I guess it's classed as a digital product. Let's look at the Veve terms of service, which are just here. So as you can see just here, it says you will be charged the price, including any fees set out in our fees page, for any collectibles purchased either from the store or from the market. Any purchase made on our services for collectibles, premium content, features, gems, or otherwise are final and non-refundable, and you are advised to double check before making any purchases. Now, that's generally accepted that that's the case, but does it fall into the digital terms of service that we were talking about just a second ago? So the distance selling regulations. Now, this is the distance selling regulations here, so therefore let's have a quick look at these. And that says, can I return an item I bought online if I don't like it? And the answer is yes. Once an item is purchased online, it's delivered, you have 14 days to decide whether or not to keep it. However, this right to withdrawal does not apply among others to purchases of, that's written very weirdly, isn't it? Perishable goods. So, if you have anything perishable, obviously sealed goods that cannot be returned once unsealed. So that's kind of interesting, because a lot of things come with security seals now as well. So therefore, if you do open them, then that essentially means you void your warranty, I guess. Plane and train tickets, as well as concert tickets, hotel bookings, car rental reservations, catering services for specific dates. Not sure why that applies to car rentals and stuff like that, because in theory, if you're not going to use the rental, then surely you should be able to cancel it if you wanted to. But you know, obviously, once you've used it, then you can't. But if you book it and then you decide you don't want it, then maybe you should be able to get a refund on it. But maybe not. I don't know. And if you purchase digital content such as music or video online, you cannot withdraw once downloading or streaming has started. So that means, do you class this as, well, it's digital content, isn't it, at the end of the day? So that to me means that NFTs are pretty much in the clear for that one, and they can just argue that it is digital content, and therefore, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. Now, I know that distance seller regulations also applies, shall I say, to, like, if it's a specific thing that's made specifically for you, like a tailored product, like a tailored suit, or maybe you get a drawing done by an artist, because I have a similar business where I have a similar thing. So we don't give refunds because it is literally a tailored thing. They ask us for a specific thing and they can't have refunds, but we still do have people who go through the refund process through their bank, and then they will cancel it. They've already got the item, they will cancel it, and it will be upheld. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens here. I know some people in the comments are going to think of doing some sort of class action lawsuit to try and figure out if it's going to happen, and maybe it will change the space massively. I don't know. You know, let me know what you think here in the comments below, whether you think at the end of the day it is a digital good, you signed up for it. But you kind of got to remember as well that Veve in the thing of not selling crypto, they're in the thing of selling collectibles. And essentially a collectible, if you go into a normal shop and you buy that collectible, you're buying it because you like it, you enjoy it, but you are allowed to take it back. You know, especially if you buy it online as well. You've got 14 days to send it back if you don't want it. So surely that should be applicable to collectibles in the digital world as well, because essentially, like with a video or something like that, you are opening it and you're seeing the content and you can't unsee it. So I understand why it applies to music or video, because of the fact that once you've downloaded it, you've essentially got that information or whatever, you know, or books or whatever it is. But as a collectible, it's just a thing, and you're just looking at it. You have absolutely nothing that you're going to receive from that collectible apart from the fact that you've got it. So therefore, in theory, that should mean that it should be privy to the 14-day returns policy. And because they haven't got a 14-day returns policy, that would mean you've got 2 years to be able to go to them and say, hey, I want to get a refund. But I don't know. It's really a really grey area, because obviously NFTs are a grey area. Another thing somebody pointed out is it doesn't apply to gambling. So do you class buying NFTs as gambling? Because if you class an NFT as gambling, which essentially it is because you're gambling on the price going up, but then as with everything in Veve, they always say that we are buying collectibles because we enjoy them and because we like them. So basing all this around the idea, there's no gambling involved, there's no assets involved, it's not buying an asset on speculation. So in theory, you should have 14 days to get a refund if you wanted to. But I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Has this guy opened up a massive can of worms? I believe he may have done. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this pans out. But from what I can tell, it means that you probably can't get a refund from Veve, but you probably don't want it anyway, even if you did. But because obviously you're speculating that these things are going to go up at some point, which they probably will. So, you know, it's probably worth holding. But, you know, let me know what you think, and we'll have a chat about it. Anyway, I'm going to see you on the next video. Bye-bye for now.